So in this video today, I'm going to be showing you how to become a millionaire and basically how much money you need to realistically invest based on how young you are when you begin investing. And as I'm sure you guys can imagine, and as you've seen with the thumbnail already, the earlier you get started with investing, the better off you are because you're allowing your money to have more time to grow. But before we get into those numbers, I want to go ahead and dispel two of the most common objections I get from people when I start talking about, getting rich or becoming a millionaire through investing. And objection number one is that $1 million today is not equal to $1 million tomorrow. And you're 100% right about that due to inflation. So inflation is basically the deterioration of the buying power of our money, and it sits at around 2% per year. So what I'm going to go ahead and do through this calculation is account for inflation by subtracting 2% from the overall return. So the stock market on average returns about 10% per year, not every single year, but if you look at a very long period of time, that is the average figure. And we're going to go ahead and subtract 2% for inflation, meaning that our real return after inflation is 8%, which we used for these calculations. So it'll be a lot more than $1 million, 10, 20, 30 years from now, but it will likely have the equivalent buying power to $1 million today, as long as inflation doesn't balloon out of control and it stays at around 2%. Now, the second objection I get from people is that that's great and all, but I'm gonna have to give it all up in taxes. And you absolutely do not have to, as long as you know certain tax loopholes out there. And this honestly isn't even really a loophole per se, it's something called a Roth IRA. I have a bunch of videos on my channel about Roth IRAs if you guys want to learn more about them. It's a certain type of retirement account that allows you to invest tax-free so long as you leave your money in there until you are of a certain age. So if you are looking to grow your money completely tax-free, the Roth IRA is going to be your best option for implementing the strategy here. So to answer the question here, how much money do you need to invest to become a millionaire? Well, what it is that you're taking advantage of here is something called compound interest. I'm sure you've heard of this from Warren Buffett and all kinds of different experts out there. Hopefully you came across it when you were in school, but if you're like me, you probably never heard of this until you were in your 20s, unfortunately. But essentially, this is allowing your money to grow over a very long period of time. And what we're going to look at here is how much you have to invest as a 20-year-old to become a millionaire by 65 versus waiting until you're 30, 40, or even 50 years old. So starting off here, if you were looking to invest from 20 to 65 and become a millionaire, you would have to invest just $216 every single month. And that is just $54 per week or $6.97 per day. The comparison I always like to use here is that for the price of a Starbucks cup of coffee or your morning breakfast, you could become a millionaire by investing passively into the stock market. So if you went ahead and invested $216 per month at an 8% return per year, accounting for inflation for 45 years, this is how much money you would have at the end of those 45 years. And you could 100% do this through a Roth IRA to be completely tax-free on all of those gains. So moving on, let's say you decide to wait a little bit. You don't want to invest in your 20s. You want to put it off like most people do, and you want to start in your 30s. Well, if you want to become a millionaire by age 65, you need to be investing $484 per month, which is equal to $121 per week or $1561 per day. Notice how only 10 years went by, but that's a substantially higher figure. We went from about $7 a day to about $15.50 a day, more than double what you had to contribute if you had started just 10 years before. And if you invested $484 per day at an 8% return for 35 years, this is how much money you would have. But we get into a bit of a tricky situation after age 30 because when it comes to the Roth IRA, there's a maximum amount of money you can contribute each year. And for most people, that is $6,000 per year. So if you were investing $484 per month, you could still do this through a Roth IRA. But once you look at investing more than $500 per month, as you would have to if you started at 40 or 50, you can no longer fully maximize those Roth IRA contributions, meaning that not only are you having to invest a lot more money, it's going to be money you're going to ultimately have to pay taxes on in the future. So if you decided to wait until you were in your 40s, the first 20 years of your adult life you said, I don't want to invest, I'm just going to, spend my money on whatever I want. If you waited until you were 40, you would now have to invest $1,140 per month to become a millionaire by age 65. And you would be paying taxes on some of those gains because you cannot put more than $6,000 per year into this Roth IRA account. And that is equivalent to $285 per week or $36.77 per day. So it's roughly 5 times the amount you would have had to contribute if you started at 20 by waiting until 40 to begin investing for your retirement or becoming a millionaire. But if you invested $1,140 per month at an 8% return for 25 years, this is the amount of money that you would have at the end, but you would be on the hook for some taxes because you can't put all of that money into a Roth IRA, the same being the case if you start at age 50. So if you are 50 years old and you've made this unfortunate mistake of saving absolutely nothing for your retirement and you're looking to fast track your way to becoming a millionaire, you would have to invest $3,070 every single month for 15 years to become a millionaire and have this amount of money. This is the issue that a lot of people are facing by waiting until they are in their 30s, 40s, or unfortunately their 50s to begin investing. And it maybe doesn't sound cool in your 20s or even in your 30s to start, but would you rather be investing $7 per day to become a millionaire or trying to squeeze every penny to invest $40 or even $100 per day to become a millionaire? I don't know about you guys, but most 50-year-olds that I know do not have $100 per day or $3,000 per month to spare, hoping to eventually become a millionaire. So the lesson here is this: when it comes to taking advantage of compound interest and becoming a millionaire, you basically have 2 options. Number 1, you can take advantage of time, which means you start earlier, and it doesn't really matter, if you invest a ton of money. We're talking $7 per day to become a millionaire. Or you can wait until you are older and then you have to invest a lot of money because you don't have much time left until you ultimately start needing that money. So obviously, if you are older, there's nothing you can do about it and the best time to start is today. But if you are younger, think about this lesson and how time is on your side and you really don't have to invest very much money at all to become a millionaire. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If this is your first time learning this lesson, make sure you share it with a friend or family member. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to be notified of any future uploads, and I will see you in the next video.